on a night drive with Calvin Fowler. His kids have sharp eyes. They spot a bushbuck, and later a skittish porcupine. A bit further down the road, a family of wild pigs forages for food. The most extraordinary thing is that we're not on a wildlife reserve. This is an avocado farm. This Limpopo farm belongs to one of Africa's largest avocado growers and packers. It is also a leader in biodiversity management, which is crucial to our future. The Woolworths Farming for the Future initiative is based on science. It's really all about making informed decisions, choosing the best option for soil and plant health, and to reduce water consumption. Kobus Pina is Woolworths Foods' Good Business Journey Manager, who played a critical role in the launch of their Farming for the Future initiative in 2009.
We actually saw before that the way we farmed isn't delivering the goods. So we see an increase in inputs in farming, we see a decline in yield, we saw a decline in quality. Farmers were under severe pressure, so we know the way we farm we need to change. And that is why Farming for the Future was launched, to change the industry.
According to Kobus, the old way of farming is a vicious cycle of using more and more fertilizers and chemicals as the land becomes poorer and poorer. One way to reverse this trend is to embrace biodiversity.
Biodiversity is not only a key pillar in Farming for the Future, but it's also an indication of the health of the ecosystem on the farm. If you look at biodiversity, in this case around us here, it gives you an indication of the mindset of the farmer, how good or bad he's being a steward of the land. A good biodiversity is an indication of a healthy farm and a happy farm. So it's very important that we not only look at plants and soil, but also around the people and animals and the insects.
While the Westphalia fruit farm in Limpopo covers 1,000 hectares of orchards, they also include almost 3,000 hectares of evergreen forest. These forests are vital as they continuously release water into aquifers, one of the most important sources of groundwater on Earth. This forest is abundant with wildlife, including the Cape parrot, the black-fronted bushwrack, and the scarce Simango monkey. This fruit estate is also home to the 27-hectare Brandboontjies wetland, a vital natural storage system of fresh water. Calvin Fowler is the general manager at Westphalia Fruit Estate. Preserving the wetlands is one of his key priorities.
Firstly, from an ecological point of view, it preserves the species diversity, but I think more importantly for us, it's a source of fresh water. And then not only is it our agricultural business that's important, but it's the people and the communities. So it's really about looking after this natural asset for ourselves, for our children, and for the future of our country.
The wetlands act as a sponge, collecting the water in a downpour and then slowly releasing it into the environment. This is nature's way of preventing erosion. But managing a functioning farm within a thriving ecosystem does present a few challenges.
We have a number of invasive species that continually encroach into this area, so there's continued efforts to remove those. And you can see that's a challenge with the hippos in the background. We have to manage our way around that. And then it's making sure that we prevent soil erosion upstream, careful agricultural practices on the neighbouring orchards so that we don't have any fertilizers or chemicals coming anywhere near the wetland. And I think that's simply how we do it, keeping it in its natural state.
Since the turn of the last century, about 2/3 of all of the planet's wetlands have been destroyed. South Africa has already lost over half of its wetlands, so this farm is committed to maintaining what they have. One of the environmental initiatives at Westphalia is bee management. 2 years ago, they began planting basil near orchards to support the natural bee population.
We have a population of bees all year round. Maybe unlike most commercial operations, we don't bring in bees during our flowering period, but rather we try to sustain a population that is sufficient to give us good pollination for our avocados.
So while most of us may go yuck to insects, a healthy population of these little hojas is a key indicator of good biodiversity management. The result of a recent insect study is astonishing. University students found 13 species of reptile, 30 species of dragonfly or damselfly, and 10 species of frogs. Scientific studies are proving that the healthier the ecosystem, the better the biodiversity. And for farmers, this leads to higher yields and improved quality. Of the world's 20 countries most vulnerable to agricultural production loss due to climate change, 16 of these are in Africa. It's obvious that we should be farming for the future.